and the Void Rays are clashing. There's a lot of Hydras here, but Kiwikaki's just taking him down. He does have to back off because he's losing a lot of Void Rays, but, you know, of course, Machine cannot rebuild his Hydralisks at the moment, so he does want to be very, very careful with them. Does not want to get into a really big fight. Just wants to try and delay until he can get his tech back up. That also delayed the upgrades on the Hydralisks, which is a really big deal. Seeing as with their high rate of fire, Hydralisks do get benefits from those upgrades very, very easily.
Yeah, he's just at 1-1. And just a peek, if you guys haven't noticed, like how in-depth Kiwikaki's strategy goes. He gets the sentries, and the way he force fields is not to block the army or anything like that. It's to minimize damage from the Void Rays. Hydras have better range, but with the force fields that he throws, notice it in the next battle. He blocks more than one Hydra at a time, hitting the Void Rays in the flank. Like only one line of Hydras will be able to hit one line of Void Rays, and of course the Void Rays will come out victorious out of that. So I hadn't noticed this before because I haven't seen him do it with sentries before. He usually goes for Templars or Colossus against me, but I haven't played him in a few days, and this might be what his strategy evolved to, where he to block those units.
But if you look, Machine actually just finished an infestation pit, has 3 infestors on the way. So that's going to be extremely dangerous. He does not want to get all of these Void Rays fungal growth. He wants to be able to keep them mobile. You can see he's done a really good job of moving them around, picking where he wants to engage. And if Machine can get a good fungal off, he might be able to just wipe out that Void Ray army. He does have +2 weapons upgrade on the way. But that fungal is going to be his best chance to completely kill all those.
Catching Kiwikaki completely off guard. But then again, those force fields, notice that the Hydras can only hit one at a time. This is an amazing play by Kiwikaki. Basically making the Void Rays even on numbers to some extent, at least one at a time against the Hydras. If that makes any sense. I don't know.
Yeah, and now making use of these Stalkers as well. He did lose quite a few Void Rays, but that could have been way worse, seeing as he did get that fungal growth off when Kiwikaki was not really paying attention. The speed upgrade on the Void Rays is done. +2 weapons is about to finish as well. He does catch some Hydras for free out in the middle of the map. So
use those, and it looks like Kiwikaki has the forces to clear this out. Machine very smart, just going for the expansion, as he is again in the expansion lead. So this is a really exciting game, really back and forth, really, okay, you take my expansion, I'll take yours. Slap Jesus in the face and he'll give you the other cheek. How does that makes any sense? Anyways, my usual answer to Kiwikaki's VM Void Rays is as well Infestor. But I just wanted to point out that it is incredibly difficult to catch Void Rays, even with Infestors when they have the speed. So Kiwikaki is probably gonna back as soon as he sees any sort of pink Zerg units flying around the map, and those speed Void Rays are just so fast.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, at any given time, he's got several Void Rays that are extremely low on health, but he's allowed them to get their shields back, keeping the survivability of these Void Rays as high as possible. He's working on getting the shield upgrades, which is an interesting move by Kiwikaki, because a lot of his Void Rays don't have very much health, so of course, if he wants to buffer their damage, upgrading the shields is going to be the best option at this point, because what it does is it just decreases the amount of the shield damage that they're taking. Give those low health Void Rays a little bit more survivability than they would with armor, seeing as if they take one hit to their armor anyway, they're probably going to die. The armor upgrade would not be very helpful, so I like that move by Kiwi a lot. It's an intelligent decision.
Not at all. Very uncharacteristic of him. One of the first mistakes I've seen him in the game. Both players playing pretty flawlessly so far. Kiwikaki now taking the food lead, however, for the first time during this match. So now it's gonna be an uphill battle for Machine, and I can't fault him for that. Speed Void Rays are just so good.
He does have 3/3 upgrades on the way from his evolution chambers, for these Hydralisks. He finished his Hive. There's not a whole lot else that Hive's going to do for him against these Void Rays.
There's just not there's I feel like there's no answer that's really going to be clear against Void Rays. It's like, oh, you're getting Void Rays? I'll just insert a new unit here, because it just doesn't, there's nothing that's really super effective against Void Rays at this point. As a matter of fact, David Kim was talking to me yesterday, actually, and he said, are you having troubles versus Speed Void Rays and stuff? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, what do you usually do? And I'm like, well, I tried a fungal growth, but it's still pretty hard. And he says, if we removed both the Speed Void Ray and the fungal growth, how do you feel that would go? And I said, you take away my fungal, I quit this game.
Oh, fun times. So you can see that, Kiwikaki's nearing that max. He has the 3rd weapons upgrade for his air on the way. I'm really curious to see if he's going to throw in a mothership here, because he is actually really one of the best people I've seen at abusing motherships in this game. A lot of people, make the mothership as sort of an exclamation point on a game.
Seeing motherships, period. Because I don't think motherships are good enough to be abused, but they're definitely good enough to be used, and they are.
So here we get a big drop at the 12 o'clock location. He's going to try and take out this base with a lot of roaches and Hydralisks. Kiwikaki's probably not going to be able to save this base, but he does have these infestors here. So Kiwikaki can't really just go charging in to help defend this. He just has to give up the base. He does get a couple free units there. If he can try and snipe these infestors, he'll be able to fly in with the Void Rays. Oh! He almost gets one, but Machine does barely get that fungal off on the group of Stalkers, getting a target of opportunity, and now he is going to fly away. Uh-oh. One lonely infestor. Just burrow it! Try and pick some probes later. Burrow!
Beto.
There you go. Oh no! The Overlords... Oh, I thought he was going to be able to take out a bunch of the Overlords while they still had units in him, but he did not want to go for that in case he got enough Hydras out to chase him away. The Infestor almost getting caught. The Observer flies in, so the Infestor does get taken out. But, basically we see just a lot of Hydras with the Infestor supporting them, and a lot of Void Rays with the Stalkers and Sentries supporting them. But there is a Mothership. Where is it? Here it is. Mothership is being produced by Kiwikaki. Like I said, he's very good at using Motherships.
I think David Kim got mad at me just now because my game is dying.
So we have this really big engagement. There's Guardian Shields and Force Fields everywhere. A couple Fungal Growths went off on the Void Rays, but the Void Rays and Stalkers are coming out ahead against this huge number of Hydralisks. Excellent Force Fields, like you were talking about, minimizing the number of Hydralisks that can fight. Now, with Machine down an army, he's swooping into the 3 o'clock location, trying to take out these bases as quickly as possible, because the Hydralisks do hatch very quickly. His window of opportunity here is going to be rather small. There's a lot of Spore Crawlers here to try and buy time. A couple of these Hydras pop out, but they do die before they can really consolidate. The Stalkers are brawling with the forces of Machine down here at the entrance to the base, just buying time while the Void Rays take out that entire base. He does manage to consolidate his Stalkers with his Void Rays to try and fight this next battle. Great fungal by Machine, but he's still pretty far behind in supply at about 20 supply. Kiwikaki still only has the 2 Stargates, which I find very interesting. Pretty late in the game. His ability to reproduce his Void Rays is very low, so if Machine were to get one really good battle, take out a lot of Void Rays, it would put him into a really tough spot.
Indeed. I can't watch the replay. Indeed is the best thing I can say.
Oh, but the Mothership just finished, and that will be very helpful. Does not have the energy yet, but if he does get caught into a bad position, of course, then he will be able to just mass recall his forces away into the safety of his own base, preferably with some cannons and some other forces there to help protect it in case Machine does see them there and tries to take them out. but he does get this second hatchery. Machine just does not have any income at this point. Has to long distance mine from this 3 o'clock base. There's not many Hydralisks left on the field. Kiwikaki making sure there's no base at the island. Very intelligent play. If we look at the income, there's 51 harvesters and only 600 income for Machine, and 62 harvesters for Kiwikaki, up at around the 1300 mark with almost 600 gas. So he's going to be able to reproduce his Void Rays no problem. It's going to be very tough for Machine to keep up in the Hydralisk count as he has been doing so far. This Mothership is still just hanging out at his base, but that is because he's going to be using it defensively. If he really needs to get the hell out of Dodge, he can just recall on his Void Rays, and he will be able to get them out back into the safety of this base up here. So there's no reason for him to move this Void Ray around, this Mothership around. No reason to risk losing it. Kiwikaki's just repeatedly killing these hatcheries. He's sacrificing a lot of Void Rays to do it, but he's trying to keep Machine on the lowest income possible. And he is doing a pretty good job of doing that so far.
Indeed.
So your replay just like crashed, or?
Yeah, pretty much. It was. I was trying to forward it, and it would load in the first, like at the start. It was just crazy. You'll have to finish this one on your own, because even if I do it again, I'm not gonna get there through 30 minutes of game or whatever it's been.
Yeah, it's been a very long game so far, but if we look at the supply, Kiwikaki is up by almost 50 supply over Machine. He has 10 Void Rays, a spattering of Stalkers, Sentries, and of course the Mothership. And Machine's forces consist basically of just a couple Hydralisks and 12 Zerglings. So it's looking pretty bad for Machine right now. Kiwikaki deciding he's going to start upgrading the air armor, because why not? Surprised he is not... he never actually got a Twilight Council, so he cannot continue to make those shield upgrades. Just this first upgrade from that forge, and that's it. So now we have another big force of Void Rays flying in. These, Spore Crawlers have done an excellent job of delaying Kiwikaki throughout the game. So even though that was a big investment for him, it has consistently allowed him to get enough forces over here to try and hold these Void Rays off for just a little bit longer, because Spore Crawlers do fire very quickly. They're very good against air units, so Kiwikaki has to be very tentative about engaging those. And right after I observed the lack of a Twilight Council, there's one building somewhere on the map. Here it is, up at the 12 o'clock location. This Mothership still at 200 energy at the 12 o'clock location, hasn't really needed to use it. With the fact that it's full on energy, he might be trying to do some sort of a toilet now that he's going for the Twilight Council, but Machine trying to drop some Zerglings to 12 o'clock base to finish off that low health Nexus, but he's just not going to be able to do it. There's Stalkers and Sentries here. His Hive is going to die at a huge number of speed Void Rays. Machine's just completely running out of options, falling farther and farther behind in the supply count, and now he's going to be starting to lose his tech. It's just going to have to be GG here soon. Kiwikaki showing us that Void Rays are still pretty good.
They're better, if anything, late game, and in huge masses. There's semi-answers to it, like Infestor, Corruptor, because Corruptors do outrange Void Rays, but you have to be extremely careful and somewhat lucky to get some nice fungal growths on a player like Kiwikaki to be able to hit him with the Corruptors, because if the Void Rays get in range of the Corruptors,
they're dead.
The Corruptors are just gonna get melted pretty fast. Void Rays are rather effective against Corruptors. There's not much you can do against a composition like this. I asked Kiwikaki, what do I do? And he said, I don't know. So, had Machine gone Muta, for example, you would think that Muta could be an answer to this, but Kiwikaki would have gone Storm instead of Sentries, and that pretty much crushed any attempts at Mutas. So, I really like the Sentry play here. Is the game still...
No, it's over. Machine did say, good game, well played. So Kiwikaki is going to